Up? What they do? Like, what's up? What they do? Facts. G Code always talking God over everything. Let's talk about self-love. Let's talk about how important it is to be self-love. How very, very important it is to have self-love. You know why it's so important to have self-love? Because you got to love yourself regardless on your circumstances. You got to love yourself regardless on what's going on in your life, what's doing what you got to love yourself through hell. You got to love yourself through pain. You got to love yourself through growth. You got to love yourself regardless of what. You cannot stop loving yourself. It's very important to love yourself. That is the devotion that you give to yourself. That is the life that you pour back inside yourself. This is very important that you do, because if you're not loving yourself, you're not building yourself. It's very important to love yourself, man. And that's just pouring the energy back inside yourself and allowing yourself to become the divine being that yourself really is. If you're living outside of yourself, you're not allowing yourself to become the divine being that yourself is. It's very important that you take care of that part of yourself. Just devote yourself back to yourself. Give yourself the love that it needs. The love that it needs, not the love that it wants, but the love that it needs. You don't need love from anybody else. You need love from yourself. Self-love is very, very important. Once you have self-love, you're not worried about, who loving you and who's not loving you. That's not important, because you are all you need. You are all you need. You are all you need. You need nothing else but yourself. You are all you need. And once you realize that you all you need, you start to want less. You know what I mean? You'll start to want less. A lot of people want. We want. That's what we do. We just want. We want this. We want that. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. That's just how we program. That's just how we train. But once you realize you all that you need, you start to realize things that you don't want. You feel me? Things that's around you right now that you possibly don't want, but because you think you want it because you think you need it. You think you need that shit because you're not self-efficient. You know what I mean? You're not built. You're not self-driven. You know what I mean? You're not self. You outside of self, so you think you want that in your life. You think that shit is serving in your life, but that shit ain't serving in your life, because everything that's in you is your life. You are your life. You are your life. Nobody else is your life but you. It's very important that you realize these things, because you are life. You know what I mean? And once you start to realize these things, you start to realize how much you can go without. You start to realize how much you could go without, bro. You start to realize how much you could go without, how you could get up in the morning and not have the things that the world desire. Not even you. It's a lot of shit that's inside of us that the world desires. You know what I mean? We got a lot of desires of the world inside of us, programmed inside of us. And that's very important that we break that. You feel me? To where we start to really seek what we desire. Like, what's your heart desire? Fuck what your mind desire. What's your heart desire? Your heart tells all. Your mind just is the tool that God gave us to, create the things that we are creating. I talked about this in one of my videos, so I'm gonna end up posting that someday. But you gotta really, devote yourself back to yourself, and you start to realize things about yourself, and you start to realize what you desire. Like what you truly want, like what you truly desire. These are things that you really gotta, pay attention to. Powerful words. Every time you see a nigga like me, G Code always talking God over everything. I love the fact that he's the God in me. I talk about the God I know he is, not the God that they say he is. And that's very important, that you know the God for who he is, which is you. 22.